start with Kevin Gates and LeBron. So if you are not familiar with Kevin Gates, he's like, he's a pretty popular rapper out here, becoming a, influencer type. He's becoming like the next generation Bootsy type. Like everything he says goes viral because he says wild shit. And apparently he was having a conversation with some of his friends about what if he had LeBron money. And I'm gonna play what he said just so I don't get any of his words wrong. Let me know if you guys can hear this, and then we'll talk about it after.
This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league, and they was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I notice shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. When soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh. This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
My bad. So that's the gist of what he said right there. That's Kevin Gates on how he feels about LeBron's wife and how she
Savannah
looks at him,
James. Yeah.
Savannah James. So what? First of all, let me ask you this: as someone who doesn't watch very much sports, is his assessment accurate? Like, would you say that's how she looks at him? Would you say you feel the same way?
No, bro. Savannah is a stand-up. You in the history of NBA players being in controversial things with their wives or how they go out, Savannah James is held at a higher standard, right? She is there. She got a husband that it's a LeBron era. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest basketball players ever. He's in the conversation. Is he better than Michael Jordan? She's there for her man. Then she got a son that's in the NBA now, and she got another son that just man, she got a lot going on. What's she supposed to be smiling all the time? She's all business, man. And she's very respectful. She always looking good. And he picked and choose a situation of how she's just, still face at these games on the sideline. It just looks like a lot. But I've always seen Savannah like in a loving way. Now, my take on it is, once again, Kevin Gates has, with a new album out, has chosen to say some controversial things to put himself in the limelight, which he did just a couple weeks ago with Rennie Rucci. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And once again, Kevin Gates knows what to say, like you said, Bootsy, right? But Savannah and James clacked back at him. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see that part? I did see that. So LeBron James, I think he said on X, or formerly known as Twitter, kings don't concern themselves with the actions of opinions of peasants. I think he said. DG and Ashley 21 and Steph Murray 75. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. I think calling somebody a peasant is a little extra when you're seen as. I mean, ultimately, Kevin Gates was coming at it from a fan standpoint. I get that he was talking about your wife, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I think, like, if I'm LeBron James' brand manager, I'm gonna tell him, even though you're defending your wife, it looks like if you call one fan a peasant, you'll call any fan a peasant. You know what I'm saying?
It goes under the point. When you were a king, right? Anything under you was what?
A peasant.
Or
a subject.
He's LeBron King James. That's his nickname in the NBA. So that's
I get it.
I understand what you're saying, but I also took it as he's the king, right? Mm-hmm. So.
But I think that makes it look worse. You feel what I'm saying? Personally, I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the one thing that'll set. I mean, I don't even believe in like gender roles in that specific way, but like the one thing that sets a nigga off is when you question his manhood. You know what I'm saying? And calling another nigga a peasant is a way to just, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Like I'm not saying Kevin Gates. I said Kevin James. I'm not saying Kevin Gates is right. He is. I think he's a weirdo. I think he's problematic. But I'm just saying, like, I think there was a better response other than calling him a peasant. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know, the Holy Lord Saints was the God of the coast. I didn't heard you son these niggas on the coast.
Fact. But I don't have to call him peasant. I elevate myself. I don't down other niggas. You know what I'm saying? Unless they talk crazy to me, then that's another.
You know where I'm going with
it. Ventura Tide Pod says wife is off. Miss Adam, thank you for joining. Ventura Tide Pod, thank you for joining. But to me, it says a lot more about Kevin Gates than it says about LeBron James. Like, if you need to be worshipped every second of the day because you rap good, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot more about your insecurity than it does about her. But I want to take it a little bit left because it brings up an interesting question for me, because I had this conversation with my homies the other day.
Okay.
We were talking about how, you know, a lot of times if you're in a relationship, your partner wants you to, like, if you're a man, your woman wants you to chase her like it's the beginning of the relationship. Even if it's 5 years down the road, she wants to feel like you're still chasing her like it was like when y'all first met. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't understand that, because it's impossible for me, for a person like me. Once we cross that boundary, when you say something super, like, you know how you hit a point in a relationship where, like, someone will say something so offensive but they know you're not gonna break up with you. You're not gonna break up with them. They said something that just changes the dynamic of the relationship and how you look at them.
Yeah.
And, like, once you cross that point, I can't fantasize about you no more like that in my mind, because now you hurt my feelings and you crossed the line, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't fantasize about you no more. And that's just natural. That's a natural part of relationships. Like, do you think that Kevin Gates is picking up on a little bit of that and speaking about that, but like, or like,
yeah, so I follow Gates, right? Gates has been going on a press run with this new album. Like I said, just a couple weeks ago, he did some messy shit with Rennie Rucci and her man, right? His wife is also on a press run about their marriage, right? And he's very hurt. He just came out the other day saying about how he was an alcoholic and he was depressed, and that's why he lost his wife, right? So to speed up to this, yes, I think he's very damaged and he's in everybody else's business, right? And then there was also something that was said along the lines of, I want people to look at me like the white women look at LeBron James. See that right there? Him being a black man and that being a black family, right? That was the main part I had wrong with that, because a complete black family is a thing of the past. You know what I'm saying? Of how it's shown black families elevating and staying together and sticking together, not divorcing and not being dysfunctional. It's a drug problem. Somebody's in the pen. Somebody's on welfare. No, LeBron James is showing a complete black family that is striving and doing the best. There's no scandal or nothing. And here comes Kevin Gates with his issues, and just to say something and make a bunch of points that have people looking at us in disregard of something that's loving. Because if I was LeBron and Savannah James, I wouldn't even acknowledge it, because, you know what I'm saying, no response is a response in itself. So I feel you, bro. He attacks situations because he's hurt or what he went through. And you can never look at somebody else's life and put your life to it of what you went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gates be on some other shit, bro. At the end of the day, before I overtalk it. Can't hear you.
My bad. Yeah, no, I agree with what you said. I kind of tapped out when he, you know, when he was talking about fucking his cousin, and he just enjoyed that shit too much. Like, that was wild to me. You know what I'm saying? And which is on topic for today. But yeah. When Kevin Gates was talking about that, like, I don't know, something about incest, like, just makes my skin crawl, and I can't. Like, I tapped out immediately with that one.
Yeah, you know, one of my hardest things about watching Game of Thrones. The shit I was raised, that ain't it. You
I
know,
ain't never even seen Game of Thrones, so
yeah, there
yeah.
was there was a lot of incest going on through there. Anyway,
I knew it wasn't for me for a reason. I didn't know that was in it, but I knew it wasn't for me for a reason. J
it's a
Head,
grown.
thank you for
It wasn't for
joining.
you because I know you, bro. That's a grown man soap opera. You know me, I'm messy, so I tied in. But you know, in the South, bro, not to say that it's just hella known. In the South, you know, there's a thing about third and fourth cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At one time, there was these gigantic, big families. Like, just to let y'all know, my people originate from the South, and my grandmother had 13 kids. You know what I'm saying? That there's a whole different thing. A lot of people don't know that I'm older, right? So, yeah, I was turned off when he said that too. But you know, I've heard it said, not just saying it's in the South. I've heard it said before. What third, fourth cousin? We ain't cousins. We didn't grow up with each other and cross
No,
that line.
I've heard because they're called kissing cousins. I've heard of
Yeah,
that shit. You know what I'm saying?
it
That
ain't
don't mean
cool.
I'm with it.
It
I
ain't.
don't mean that I'm with it.
Yeah.
But
No, I agree with you. I'll just explaining something to the listeners. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird.
But to me, it's like, again, even the circumstance where he said he found out it was his cousin, he didn't know. Cool. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? Not cool, but you didn't know. But then to keep going back is like wild. That's why. And then to just brag about it on the radio, like shit is normal. Like I feel like him, that moment and NBA YoungBoy talking about his herpes, those two moments normalize some shit in public. That's just like where niggas just, those were two moments in hip hop where I was like, oh, niggas do not give a fuck no more. There is no more boundary. There is no more like line.
Bro.
Like niggas will, and then Kanye being a Nazi, of course.
That's crazy, bro. Thank you, bro. So, hey, the thing about it is, bro, that you just brought up, I forgot about the NBA YoungBoy shit, and women were still lusting on him.
I know,
like, bro.
yeah. That's when I was like, oh, nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters at all. I mean, yeah, I did see that Kevin Gates responded and he went off when they responded, right? I didn't really get into his response, but I saw he kind of tried to turn it up to level 10. I think you're right. He's trying to keep the conversation going as long as he possibly can. Cause I mean, if you get LeBron talking about you, that's a crazy news cycle. You know what I'm saying? But I hate that this is what the game has become, bro. It's really nuts to me to like promote the album. You gonna disrespect the whole family that's just, you gonna shoot strays at a whole family that was just over there chilling. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What up, Gia? Thank you for joining. Please
that's the gimmicks they play now, bro. You know, that's the gimmicks to get streams and sell albums now. You know what I'm saying? But the greatest thing that you said about this conversation is he's damn near the new Bootsy. Bootsy invented that shit, and he's from the South. And it's just to say the wildest shit to get the most attention because that's where your career is at. He's been like ever since he went to the feds, he's been struggling to go back to 2 phones. You know, he had a nationwide hit with 2 phones. You go do some jail time. We've never seen a rapper go do some jail time and come back and be where he at. The one rapper that did some jail time and has survived is Bootsy. That did 5 years. We've never seen a rapper go to jail and come back and be that same artist. You know what I'm saying? So I think he running his mouth to be running his mouth. You know, a lot of these niggas just be talking to be talking, bro.
That's true. DJ Dash, thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Which bitch says nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. I ain't gonna hit that me. I'm not gonna hold that note, but I know where you was going with it.